Okay, let's just go. Give me that.
Oh, welcome back, everybody, to episode 6 of Two Queens Make a Pair, as one of our queens is trying to get comfy. I'm Maggie.
And I'm Sam.
And we are happy to be back with you guys, especially after a, let's say, powerful, moving episode.
I hope that's the impact that people get from
that. It was therapeutic, I think, for us, in a way.
It's always good. It's always good to talk about my dead mom.
But just, again, if one person hears us, then that's enough. And so we're happy to be with you guys. We decided that we were going to be a little bit more lighthearted in this episode.
I'm still probably gonna cry.
Probably.
It's
there's gonna be something.
Happens.
There's gonna be something. You've cried in every episode.
And you've cried in 0.
And as I was just about to say, you're about to find out a lot more about us. And you're about to find out a lot more about our relationship in some of these stories.
I think it'll be good. I like that we went to bed last night and we were like, we're going to be funny. Except when we try to be funny,
We're not funny.
We're not funny. I don't necessarily think that other people think that we're funny, but...
Oh, I think we're hilarious.
You do.
Yeah, I think we're really funny. But yeah, I was really excited to record this episode. I've been looking forward to this one just because I want you guys to know who we are. And I think that these stories give a really good representation of that.
I don't think anyone's going to want to know who we are once this is done.
Maybe not. Maybe
I for sure don't think anyone's gonna want to vacation with us. If that's ever on the table.
You know what? And I have had a lot of people say, "Oh, I would love to go on one of y'all's girls' trips and things like that." I'm like, I don't know that you really do want to go.
There's always an adventure, and there's always a story. Always a mishap.
Yeah,
or 7.
And I think that sharing these stories is a level of vulnerability that we haven't done yet.
It is, yeah, that's a good word for it. So a difference in our personality is that Maggie has this presence of she is perfect and everything is good and under control and put together. And
boy, do I love control.
Love to tell people what has messed up.
Spontaneous. Like you're just so spontaneous.
It's the ADHD and the trauma.
And I am not.
It's not ADHD.
I'm not ADHD. I was thinking spontaneous. I'm not.
You're not either of those. So when we talked about our I always say that I want to be a stand-up. I don't want to be a stand-up comedian, but I want my goal in life is to, on a bucket list, check off that I have done stand-up comedy at least one time.
Well, here is your opportunity.
Well, sort of, except you always are like, but what are you going to tell? And then I sort of clam up and I'm like, I have a set list. You would be amazed. But really, I think I would just have to get up there and rapid
just
fire.
Start talking.
Because if I practice too much, then it would be weird. So when we were thinking about what stories we're gonna tell, I was thinking about the stand-up comedy. So
yeah,
this is
a good test.
This is our one time to shine.
Give us a like if you think we're funny.
Don't put pressure on people.
You know, we're just happy to be here. We're just
live it.
Yeah.
Okay, so go. Start with hello, Dolly. Your birthday was recent.
Listen, Dolly Parton, I've mentioned you before in this podcast, and I'm going to mention you again. Please reach out to us. Please like or comment, and we would love to have you on our show.
When her husband passed away, I was like, Maggie, Dolly's going to need a therapist now, and this is our time to shine.
What if I'm actually her therapist?
She is so good at HIPAA, we would never know, and I would be dying. I would be dying if
I can't practice out of Arkansas, so that's not a case.
Good to know.
So yes, I'm wearing my Dolly Parton shirt. I got this at Dollywood. Sam got her mug. Actually, I got Sam's mug for her at Dollywood.
It says, "Good golly, Miss Dolly."
Yes, we love Dollywood, and so
we just love Dolly.
2 summers ago, my at the time, I think she was 17-year-old little cousin Mia. Hey Mia, we love you. And if you are watching this, just go ahead and skip probably a few minutes ahead because she's so tired of this story.
So tired of this story.
But she wanted to go to Dollywood. Like that was one of her senior trips. That she wanted.
And we strongly encouraged that we get to go too.
Of course, like I was gonna go on Mia's senior trip.
No matter where it was, Maggie was gonna go.
I was gonna go to college with her if...
I was pretty sure that we were packing our bags to go to college again.
I was gonna be there. And so, Mia decided she wanted to go to Dollywood. Mia is a huge Dolly Parton fan. Has pretty much all of her records, I think. And records on at record, that. Yeah. On record. Because Mia's really cool. Mia's a lot cooler than we are. She's actually funny. So we decided that we're going with her. It was me, Sam, Mia, and Mia's mom, my aunt, mine and Sam's aunt, Amanda, who was a guest on our show. And we loaded up the Jeep, my Jeep, and we decided that hey, we're going to Dollywood. And it was our first night there. If anyone has not been to Pigeon Forge, it's like 9 hours away. I don't know why in my head I thought this was going to be like a 5-hour drive. But no, it's a long way across the state of Tennessee.
On the other side.
But hey, we got to stop at Buc-ee's.
And that's Maggie. That's a whole different story.
That's a whole different story. And so we... Come on over. We decided that when we got there, after we had gotten settled in, we decided we were going to build a fire because that's what you do in June, July, is build a little fire in a fire pit because it's hot. But weirdly, the weather wasn't bad.
I know, it was wonderful. But when we were driving in, I was like, because I have to say...
In a cabin, like we're in the woods.
I have to say things out loud as I'm driving, like the things I observe, or I'll explode. And I was like, everyone has little fences. It's so cute. Look at everyone's fences. And then we got to our cabin and I was like, our cabin doesn't have a fence.
But the fence is in the front yard.
Yes.
Okay? So there are fences not only in the backyard, but all the way around the house. In the front yard. And I was like, that's odd.
No one cared that I mentioned everybody's fences, except our house had zero fence.
No fences. No one cared about the Airbnb guests.
No one cared about my observations until we started a fire.
We started a fire, and in the fire pit, appropriately, and there was not a burn ban.
Pigeon Forge on fire,
and so we're sitting there, and just chilling. Like I've got my bourbon. I think Amanda had a drink. You don't even know if you had anything. Like we're just vibing. We're talking about our excitement for going to the theme park the next day and how much we're going to have to walk and what we're going to cook for dinner. Like we had gone to Walmart. We got like all these groceries we were going to cook in. But we were like, you know what? We're just going to vibe by this fire because we all love a fire pit. Except for Mia. Mia was in the house not hanging out with us.
Think we're funny.
Because she doesn't think we're funny or cool. So we just made the joke about like we're in the woods, like there's bears out in the woods, but didn't really think anything about it. And so we're sitting there, and I'll just kind of set the scene for you. Amanda is sitting with her back to the house. I'm sitting next to Amanda, and then Sam sitting with her back basically to the road that the house is on.
The road.
And I guess my back's like to the driveway. And so we're sitting there, we're chilling, and we just start to hear some ruffles. That's really what it was, just some little ruffles.
And the neighbors had a donkey, and that donkey was hee-hawing.
Going nuts. And so, but he was in the fence. He was in his little fence, because every house except ours had a fence. And so we're sitting there, and if I could describe to you the whites of someone's eyes, I saw them in Amanda's. And all I heard was, "It's a bear."
Thank you for leaving out the explicits.
She said some words. "It's a bear." Before I knew it, Amanda had taken off. She had taken off. Now, our Airbnb was up on a hill.
A mountain.
A mountain. It was up on a mountain. And I mean, Amanda takes off. Like, she is sprinting up this mountain to the Airbnb. And as she's running, she's pouring out her drink. Like, that was going to make a difference.
It was making you go faster.
It was going to make her lighter by pouring out her bourbon to get up this mountain. So she's pouring her bourbon out. And in my mind, I just thought, I just have to be faster than Sam. I wasn't going to be faster than Amanda, but I just have to be faster than Sam.
Were we married yet?
No. We had not signed the vows, for better or for worse, no. We had not signed any vows.
Oh, I see.
And that was my thought, is I just have to outrun Sam.
So Maggie takes off.
I take off.
And
I look behind me, and Sam is still sitting and making eye contact with the bear.
Because I don't believe people. Too many people have lied. So I turn, because I was like, no way is there a bear. And I turn, bear.
Bear. I turn, and literally her and the bear, if I could have screenshot this moment, her and the bear just looking at each other.
And even still, I didn't think. I was just like, oh, it is a bear. And we just...
Big old black bear.
It felt like a long time that we stared into each other's souls.
It was, because in those moments, I was still thinking, I have to beat Sam.
I wasn't going anywhere.
I have to.
And
so I turned around and said, Sam, run! We did the one thing you're not supposed to do. We all ran. We screamed. We ran.
I was not running to begin with, first of all. So I would have done what was right. But I have this, like, reaction to when you tell me to do something. I pretty much am like, okay. And my brain is like...
I could have said, hey, Sam, jump on the bear. And she probably
would have. Intrusive thoughts typically win for me, and I'm usually like la la la, kind of in my own world. So I was like, a bear, and then she hit me and was like, run. And I was like, well, I guess I'm running now.
So we get up to the house.
Yeah, we get up to the house, and yeah, there's the bear.
And y'all, this bear did not give two shits that we were there.
It's because it looked into my soul.
That bear was just wandering around. It just kept walking. It did not care that we were there. And
I am not a runner. Maggie and Amanda get up at 5 in the morning, at least 5 of 7 days of the week, and they run, they walk, they exercise, and so help me God, I left my exercise days back 15 years ago. So I had no business running up this mountain.
But she ran.
But, well, I got up the mountain. I'm not sure that it was running. But I was pretty sure I was going to have a heart attack. And it wasn't because I encountered the bear. It was because cardio. And there was, to be fair, there was a hole in my lung. I had an aneurysm that we didn't know about. So I was like...
breathing heavy. We were
trying
all
to
breathing heavy.
Inhaler.
And I was yelling at Mia. I was like, Mia, come see the bear. Come see this bear. Mia didn't care. Mia never came to see the bear.
And so now, if we ever tell the story, it's pretty much chronologically exactly the same. Like, it's almost rehearsed now. And so Mia will be behind Maggie, and she's like, the whites of Amanda's eyes. And then she poured out her drink, and then Sam stared into the bear's eyes. And she's like mouthing as Maggie and Amanda tell the story. And then it gets to my part, and I'm like, and I did nothing. Which is also just like a highlight of when Maggie and I are together, she is the one who says, Sam, let's do XYZ.
I've got the itinerary.
Yes, but when we're with Amanda is the one in control.
Sam will say, you and Amanda share a brain cell.
And they don't care about the people who are fat and can't walk behind them. They're so fast. And Amanda has little legs, but boy, they go fast. So while we're at Dollywood, one thing I do know is theme parks, and every theme park I've ever been in, actually, I don't even want to say 9 out of 10, it makes a loop. There's a map, and it's like, you are here, and you enter here, and I'm like, hey, it's a loop. Pigeon Forge is in the hills.
A lot of hills.
Not
just with the bear.
Not with the bear. So we go to Dollywood, and we make it 3/4 of the way around the loop. And then they're like, oop, we got to go back to the entrance. And then they walked 3/4 of the way back instead of just going to the end of the circle. And so the next day, because we were going for several days, and they take off walking using their brain cell. And they're like, da-da-da-da-da, we're going to go this way. And I said, if y'all don't stop right now and let me explain to you what I mean that this place goes in a circle, and if you make me walk up this mountain again, so help me. Me and my fat self, we're going to get you later. It'll be a slow...
Like I said, we had not signed the vows. There was not a better or for worse at this point.
For richer.
For richer or for poorer. No, there wasn't.
So it's funny because we all are very similar in a lot of ways. Like, we love traveling together, and we're really good at traveling together. Mm. But every now and then, y'all's little brain cells start clicking somewhere else, and you don't care about Sam. No. You don't care about me at all.
Just me and Amanda.
But it's been you guys for so long. That's what's so funny about all of it. Yeah. And so I'm typically pretty, like, go with the flow, all these things. But I was not walking up another mountain after I had ran.
She also knew at this point that I was going to leave her for the bear. Or like,
the bear was like, I just had to think about outrunning Sam. And I was like, you don't even have to think about that. You know you're going to outrun Sam. But also, shame on you.
I guess I didn't have to say that out loud, but I did.
And has stuck with it.
I'm in it.
She was like, what were you thinking? And I said, I was pretty sure it wasn't a real bear. It's not real.
It's a real bear. But yeah, so we travel well together. And I think that is something that has really strengthened our relationship. And, you know, yeah, like, I think that if we think back to all of our journeys together, that really they've brought us closer together. And I will say, if you are dating someone and you're thinking about being with this person for the rest of your life, go on a road trip.
A long one.
Because that really does give you a lot of insight into what marriage will be like, and what living together will be like. And so I encourage, like, go on those long trips together. Early. We went early. So yeah, we started dating in January, and then that October we went to
we went on a cruise. Yeah, but we had taken another trip in like May. So we went with her mom. The three of us, we drove to Destin, Florida. And that was lovely. Yeah. I don't think there was any really, well, except the water. I still had like an issue with water. Yeah. Fair. But overall, except for we walked to get lunch, and it took too long for them to make lunch, and we're like, well, while we're here, we should have a little drink.
A little day drinking.
And then we had, I don't know, 7
a lot of shots.
How many little drinks? So we walked back to our little umbrellas, and we took a nap.
I've never slept so good on the beach. I never slept so good. But yeah, no, that was a really good trip.
Yes. So that was the only thing, though, I think that was like sort of not even a mishap. It was just like the funny thing that happened. And we both like rolled over. We woke up, and it was like 5 o'clock, and we were like, is it still Friday?
And God bless my mom. Like, she was just vibing with us. She was just hanging out.
She didn't care.
Sitting on the beach.
She had a couple of books.
Yeah. She was reading your book.
Oh, yeah. So that was, so then I was working night shift, and I knew I got a sign-on bonus, and I was like, this year has been hell. And so with the sign-on bonus, I'm not going to be as responsible probably as I should have been, but I was like, we need like a really intentional time together. So I started booking a cruise at like 3 o'clock in the morning, and my intention was for her birthday in October.
Y'all, do you know how many places cruises go out of in the United States? There's a lot of ports.
Well, I didn't do research. I was just like,
Louisiana.
Yeah, well,
New Orleans, Galveston, Texas.
The Gulf of Mexico, and I wasn't thinking that cruises went, I don't know. I'm not good at geography.
No.
So I typed in cruises from Miami, because in my head, you only leave on a cruise from Miami. I think it's because I had a friend that went specifically to Miami.
Miami, Florida. That is another place that cruises leave out of.
My head, it was the only one. So 3 o'clock in the morning, and she wakes up and she's like, "What is this?" And I'm like, "Surprise! We're going on a cruise in like 4 or 5 months." And she was like, "Okay."
What would you have said if I'd been like, I don't want to be on a cruise. I don't want to go on a cruise.
Well, I'd already put your name in. I guess I would have went by myself. I don't know, because I had already paid the deposit.
We were going.
I think I paid for like everything at once, because I like had maybe I broke it in half. Either way. So she texted me though. Maggie loves to be in control of things. And a couple days later, and she said, "Hey, I was very, very intentional about the dates. I didn't want it to be exactly on her birthday, because I was like, she's very family oriented. I don't want to be selfish. This is like our first birthday together. And so I want to make sure that specifically on the birthday, we are not away in a different place. And specifically not Halloween, because Amanda is the queen of Halloween, and I know that we have to be there for Halloween. So it was this sort of in between time, and my like it looked like we would be back like 3 days before Halloween, basically. So I was like, so we'll get in, we'll costume up, it'll be a great time. Well, she messaged me and she said, "So I'm looking at the dates, and this really doesn't work." And I was like, "I don't really know what you mean, because I've already paid the money. This is the day we're leaving." And she said, "Well, if you could look and see about changing the date, if you even have to pay a difference, I'll pay the difference. But if you could just look." And I was like, "Well, I'll look, but I just am not sure." And she said, "Well, I've already looked, and you can do it." So these are the dates we need to go on.
Of course, I wasn't going to give you a problem and not have a solution for you.
Right. So we switched the dates, and it also conveniently lined up with, we joke that Maggie has an ex-wife, and it is Carrie Underwood, and conveniently,
we've been in the same place 11 times.
The 11th time was going to be on the way back from the cruise, and she was like, "This works so perfectly, because there's a Carrie Underwood concert." And we'll like circle back to that. But so she intentionally had 2 goals in changing the plans, and
that was not one of my goals.
Halloween, and it was Carrie Underwood, and probably Carrie Underwood was higher than Halloween. So we had your little birthday dinner, and she was like, "Okay, do you have your..."
Yeah, so we left on the 14th of October, and we actually left town on the 13th, and so my birthday dinner was on the 12th. My birthday is October 12th, and so we, yeah, it was perfect timing. So we're like getting ready to go to my birthday dinner, and we were leaving that next morning at like 4 a.m. to drive to Miami, because at that time I was terrified to fly. I wasn't going to fly, and so she knew that. And so she picked the farthest port that she could.
I just really like spending time with you.
Here we come, Miami. It ended up working out because her sister lived in Atlanta, and so it was like a good opportunity for me to meet her.
That was another thing. I was like, okay, I can map it out. We can stay with people. I used to travel by myself all the time. I'd couch crash. Like, everything was good.
So instead of driving 18 hours at once, we drove
9
and 9. And basically Atlanta was halfway. So, we're getting ready for my birthday dinner, and I texted her and I said, "Hey, where is your birth certificate? I'll just put it with mine." And she said, "My what?" It's like, you have to have your ID, your real ID, and your birth certificate to get on this boat.
Which is so strange, because to get my real ID, I had to show my birth certificate. I'm just saying, it's a strange thing, because I've already proven that I am who I am.
Yeah, so she didn't know where her birth certificate was.
I had a good idea.
We were leaving in like 12 hours.
I've never seen her so mad at me in my life.
I'm gonna get on the boat without you. And so Fortunately, her friend who was living with her at the time found the birth certificate.
She was like, where do you think it might be? And my mother's ashes are still in the container that they came in. And I said, I'm so sorry, but I think you're going to have to move Anita. And I think the birth certificate is by my mother's ashes in my like folder. And she was like, I am not touching Anita to get your birth certificate. I was like, this is what you have to do or I'm going to die because Maggie is going to kill me.
Or we're breaking up.
Yeah. So she found the birth certificate. It was by my mom's ashes. It's fine.
It's fine. So we have the birthday dinner. It's great. We had it at Stella's. Love.
Oh,
yeah, Stella's. Had a really good time with the family and decided, all right, yeah, we're leaving at 4 a.m. for the Bahamas. Here we come. And so we get to Atlanta.
We did. We got there. Well, no, we first started to take off. And so we travel well and we got snacks and all the things. And Maggie's itinerary typed out to the T was like, we'll stop at said gas station for breakfast because we love their little biscuits. And I was like, awesome. Love. We went into the gas station to get gas and biscuits and they didn't have breakfast yet.
It was too early for breakfast.
So I turned around and I'm like, well, I'm just going to get me a little snacky snack. And she was like, we have snacks in the car.
And that's important for later.
And I was like, I'm aware, but you told me we would get breakfast and those snacks are like car snacks. Those aren't breakfast snacks.
We have snacks in the car.
We have snacks in the car. I was like, this is not going to be a fun time. I can already tell.
We're not coming back together. So we get to Atlanta. And I think that there's more so Sam. There's something on Sam's forehead, which I think she mentioned in the last video, where she is this safe person, where people feel comfortable talking to her. And your sister had invited a friend, and this friend just like
was really going through some life
and just poured out her heart to you.
Yes. So we're at this bar, and I guess in Georgia there are some different laws. We're just used to Arkansas, like you cannot smoke in buildings, and I'm highly sensitive to cigarette smoke. So we get into this like little bar.
So Sam's crying.
Place, and I'm like,
Sam's crying with the friend, but it's not because of the friend, because of the cigarette smoke.
So we're in the cigarette smoke place, and she has a little heart monitor on, and I was like, is that a heart monitor? And she's like, yeah, why? And I'm like, I don't know, the cigarette smoke, the vaping, the alcohol.
Nothing's good. Nothing
about this place is good.
Let me tell you, and I own this mistake. This one's on me. I ordered a chicken parmesan sandwich at a bar.
A smoky bar. They'd probably put the cigarettes underneath it.
I admit that was a mistake. And so it was the worst sandwich I have ever had in my life. You got a burger, and I remember your burger being, it was a bar burger, like it was good. But gosh, chicken parmesan sandwich at a bar, like don't be like me. Yeah.
So then we got back to the house after this fiasco, and my sister had a little bit to drink, and she was looking for a vape, and we are not vapors, but I know vapors, and when you get in your mind that you want your little vapey vape, you gotta find it. You'll flip over a freaking house for it. So we're like, okay, we gotta get in bed because we're leaving again at 4 o'clock in the morning, and we've been driving this whole, we're like, okay, we gotta get in bed. And so we hear it on the door, hey guys, have you seen my vape? And we're like, no, why would we see your vape?
We don't vape.
Do not do that. And so I was like, maybe in the car, maybe blah blah. And so then we were like, okay, we're gonna get in bed. And then, hey guys, have you seen my vape? I'm gonna go to the store and get my vape or get a new one. And I was like, she cannot drive. And so I was like, I'm so sorry, I love you so much. I'm going to take my sister at like midnight to get a vape. And she was like, you're going to leave me here in this house that's not my house. And I was like, she will die. Like, she will truly, there's no like getting it out of her head.
So Sam's a great person. Sam is amazing. And
so we get in, I think she has a little minivan. So we get my sister's little minivan and we drove, and she's like not giving me good directions. I was like, you have to tell me the name of the place. And she was like, oh, it's so-and-so gas station. I said, that's not coming up in the GPS. So whatever I am, you always call me Sacagawea. My sister is worse. We share a brain cell. All this to say, we it's like 3 o'clock in the morning, and we've been sharing a twin bed because, like, graciously we had my niece's bedroom for the weekend or for the night. We were like, we haven't slept. And so I roll over. Obviously, we're like this close together because we're in a twin bed. And I was like, what if we leave?
So we left at 3 in the morning. And so we're driving, we're vibing, we're listening to good music.
I have to read every billboard
she
out
reads
loud.
every billboard. And
then we discovered that Maggie can't.
I'm 10 seconds behind her in reading the billboard.
So we scheduled like literally she can't see. And so this is why she was not being amused by me reading the billboards, because she couldn't see them. But I had let her drive me halfway across the country.
So I have glasses. That is how I learned that I couldn't see. So
no, you knew you couldn't see.
Yeah,
you just didn't let me know that you couldn't
I didn't realize
see.
that
I was a little worried when you got glasses that you wouldn't like me anymore.
Fair. But I didn't know that I was 10 seconds behind the normal person reading a billboard. I didn't realize that.
I've never been called normal.
Yeah. Well, your vision is really good.
My vision is really good. That's the only thing.
So,
we get to Miami.
We get into Miami. And I wanted to drive into Miami.
Maggie loves arriving at the destination.
I wanted to
I can drive. I would have driven us the whole 18 and a half hours straight, or night, whatever. And then when she saw the sign for Miami, she would have been like, I would like to drive now.
Yeah.
Which is fine. It's just funny.
If you've ever driven in Miami, I would say that it's equivalent or worse than Dallas. Like, Dallas is hard to drive in. But Miami has a lot of lanes. Like, there's a lot of lanes going every which way. And the hotel that we were staying at was right basically across the interstate from the airport, which was very close to the port. Like, there was a straight shot to the port. And I am a planner, and I was like, okay, we can stay here. We can get to
the port.
We can get to the port. Like, it's going to be great. And we were leaving very early that next morning. So we're driving into Miami, and
Maggie is terrified.
I'm terrified of airplanes. And if you know me, you know how real that has been for me.
Which is why we drove to Miami, like, because she truly could not step foot on even into an airport.
Yeah, like one of the panic attacks that I had in my life was just picking someone up at an airport. I have flown since then. I've gone through my own therapy, and medication helped.
Yay, therapy.
So, yes, I have flown since then. But at that point, I had never flown. And even, like, seeing planes in the sky was uncomfortable. Like, I didn't like it.
Yeah, and I'd be, like, hanging my head out the window, like, I wonder where they're going.
So, we're driving in to Miami to our hotel. We're basically in the runway of this.
Yeah, there's a lot of lanes. But one of the lanes is like an airplane lane. Like,
that's what
truly.
it feels like.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like. So I am seeing all these planes going in different directions, crisscrossing and coming over me and all this stuff. And I'm like, Sam, you have got to talk to me. Tell me a joke. Tell me a story. Tell me something. Like, I'm white knuckling it. I feel everything start to close in.
And I'm like, oh, my time to shine. So I'm looking at her, and I'm like looking ahead, looking at everything. And then I turn and I look at her because she's in the driver's seat. And I am like, there's a muffin in an oven, and it talks. And I
almost like she's having a stroke. It was like almost like you were having a stroke.
Wedding.
So I'm like, I turned and was like, now you don't have anything to say.
And I was
You've talked this whole trip, and now you don't have anything to say.
And I don't ever shut up, and I'm so sorry for the people that have to experience that. So we get to the hotel finally, and she was like, what the hell? And I
happened? And I was like, first of all, you told the joke wrong.
I couldn't even think to tell the joke wrong, and I only know 3 jokes to begin with. So I'm very well rehearsed in my 3 jokes. And I was like, but when I turned and I looked at you, I have to say the words that I read or I will explode. And the words that I read was on an airplane out the driver's window, and it said Ethiopian cargo. And if I would have said that, we would have crashed and died. And so I couldn't tell the muffin joke. And you got mad, but I was like, maybe next time I drive us to the destination.
Yeah. That's fair. So Yeah, so then we get on the cruise and it's great. We had a wonderful time.
Except for when that kid got lost and we found him.
We did find a kid. We found a kid. So it was just, we were headed back to our room and there was a little small
baby
child crying in the hallway, and he was in his room and
he had gotten out of his room. And thank God that he got out into the hallway and not out on the balcony, because we had a balcony like floor. And so we were like, there was a child. And then, as we do, she was like, hey buddy, like, you look lost. And he was like, probably like 2 years old, like very
he couldn't really talk yet, like there was a lot.
He was like his little diaper and his jammies, and clearly like the parents were not, for whatever reason, they had maybe been asleep, but this hallway is long, and so we couldn't just go like knocking on doors. So we were like, okay, there's phones on the cruises, and I
scooped him up.
So she's like holding the baby, and
that's when Sam really fell in love with me.
He kind of looked like my son, and it was like this moment of safety, and he just like fell asleep on Maggie. And so there was like these two cruise entertainers.
One was British,
and she was like, we said, hey, we found this kid, and
she said, you have a baby.
She's like, so she turns to the other guy and she's like, we have to help them, they found a baby. And she said, okay, well so the four of us, we go to Lost and Found.
No, it was like the
help center,
the help desk, desk.
So we were like, he's got his little band on, but the problem is the band only tells you what boat to get on in case of Titanic.
Yeah.
So it had his little, what was it called?
Mustard station.
His muster station. So we were like, can you like backtrack him to his muster station? Can you help him, please?
No.
And I had drank a bottle of bourbon and a bottle of champagne and probably a bottle of wine. And so,
girl, that was a different night.
Oh, okay, no,
a different night.
Okay, well then I think I still at least drank like a bottle of bourbon that night, because I remember being like, okay, I heard the baby crying and I was like, I don't think this is real. And then I like had to sober up because I was like, oh, this is
real.
Hold on, okay,
there's baby.
Switching to gear. Okay, well it was a different night. Well, that particular night, I thank God it wasn't that night, or I never would have helped that kid. I'd be like, I go to bed. What baby? It all worked out. We found the parent of the baby, and but everywhere we go, there's always like, we always have to help
the lost
and found. And usually it's me. I'm the lost.
Yeah. So we have a great time on the boat. Like, we went to the Bahamas.
It was great.
Yeah,
Fake Bahamas. We're pretty sure that first place we went wasn't real Bahamas. So we go, and the plan is to stay in Atlanta because that's where the Carrie Underwood concert is. And
it wasn't even a Carrie Underwood concert.
It was not actually a Carrie Underwood concert. It was a George Strait concert, and Carrie was one of the openers, and Willie Nelson was one of the openers.
So this is one moment that I continue to apologize to my wife.
Wait, are we not going to talk about, you thought my friend was a serial killer?
Oh, I did think her friend was a serial killer.
Yeah, so Peter, he lives in Jerusalem now. He's very cool. He does a lot of cool things. But he lives in Atlanta, and I had worked for my dad in Atlanta, well, outside of Atlanta, at his welding company one summer, and this guy worked for my dad. And so we had connected and we had planned to hang out, but we just never actually hung out. So like in real life, we had not met. We were...
Yeah, so I was like, how did you meet this guy? She was like, I've never met him. I'm like, what do you mean we're having lunch with someone you've never met?
But I was he does incredible craftsmanship of small welding, and he made these decanters, and he repurposed them into beautiful lamps. And she has a really cool office and the vibe, and I was like, I want to get one of these for her birthday, because this whole trip is for her birthday, and how do I not get this shipped, because they're pretty expensive and I didn't want it to break. And I was like, also, we're gonna be in Atlanta anyway, like we can catch up, hang out. Well, so in the morning, Maggie, in her itinerary, she does not like to be late. She doesn't like to miss anything. And the difference in us is I have spent summers in Atlanta. I know Atlanta really well. And there's not a lot of walking. Like, it's not really, we weren't downtown. We were at the Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Like, that's where the concert was. And so I was trying to explain to her, like, there's not gonna be like
it wasn't like
Little Rock,
yeah,
Memphis.
It wasn't like FedEx,
where we get to
Verizon,
space out, see everything, go have a drink here. I was like, it's not like that. And she was like, there's always a bar like within walking distance. And I was like, I love you so much, but please,
I know best.
Please listen to me. And she was like, okay, so what if we like don't go to lunch because I'm really worried about parking? And I was like, so help me God, we are going to this lunch. And she was like, you don't even know this guy. He's probably a serial killer. And I was like, we are going to this lunch. And I don't often like push back to her. So for her to, I don't know what you thought when I was like, no, we're going.
It was kind of, it was like this moment of, okay, like, she's calling me on my shit, you know? Like, I always say, like, one of the things I love about Sam is she just calls me on my bullshit.
Yeah.
And that was one of the moments.
I was like,
and she did.
We're not changing this. This is part of the itinerary. We're going at this
that
time.
I created.
That you created. We're going. And so when we get there, Peter opens up and he was like, oh, by the way, because I was like, I don't want to be weird. But I was like, will you give her this present, please? This beautiful thing that you've made. And so I didn't say that I had paid for it at first. And she just thought that he was even weirder and brought her a gift. And so it wasn't weird. I was like, this is why we had to have this lunch, because I bought you an expensive handcrafted present and I love you so much and I just need you to freaking listen to me sometimes. So we still left early. And she was like, we have to get parking. And I was like,
we did.
Okay.
We did. We found this really cute the one bar.
And there was coffee. I'm pretty sure the Lord was like, listen, I know that Sam is going to kill Maggie. But what we first did was, because Maggie doesn't care about the girls who don't walk every day, she was like, oh, let's take a picture by the stadium. We got perfect princess parking because there was nobody in Atlanta yet for this concert. We were like, what, 4 hours early?
Mm-hmm.
5?
4. At least 4.
4, for sure. So we have these pictures of us outside of the stadium, and we did not have to take, we didn't have to edit the people out because there's no people. And you can't get inside. You can't get a pretzel or a beer when the doors aren't open. And she's just walking, having a good time. And I said, Maggie, I love you. And I am in cowboy boots that are not very comfortable. And we've been on a cruise. And I still feel like I'm on the cruise.
It did. It felt like you were saying.
I was like swaying. I said, if you don't stop walking and make a plan, I don't care what the plan is. We could sit in our car for the next 4 hours. But I'm not walking this stadium anymore. And so she was like, okay.
I hear you.
Finally. So then we found this cute little coffee shop that the Lord literally created
to keep
in
us
that
together.
moment to keep us together. So there's coffee, there's beer. I think the Razorbacks were
playing.
Yeah, Georgia.
It was so weird. Like, they weren't even playing Georgia, but the game was on. I'm not really sure how that happened.
But the Lord, 100%.
So yeah, we get to the concert and Little Big Town opened. They were the first opener. And to be fair, they started at 5 o'clock. Like, it was the
time that they were supposed to start
concert, and they started at 5. We were there to see them.
Yeah, I'm here for the whole time.
Then Willie Nelson played, and what I didn't know at the time was how big of a fan my wife is of Willie Nelson.
Yeah,
and I mean, like, he's great. He's a legend, and so
I'm having the time of my life. I'm like, I'm in the same room as Willie Nelson. I'm my Willie shirt on. I kept making all these puns. I was like, I'm really excited about the Willie Nelson concert. And she was like, it's a Carrie Underwood concert. Again, it was neither of those. It was a George Strait concert. But I was like, but Willie Nelson is going to... My clothing choice was Willie Nelson. I don't... And then so we're sitting and I'm singing every word to every song. And he is sitting because he can't do much anymore. He's playing his little guitar and his old guitar.
I'm not really sure he was alive.
Like, it's his old guitar and And it was this moment, and she looks over and she says, hey, how about we go get a drink and go to the bathroom now so we don't, and I said, so we don't miss Carrie Underwood? Because there was like 15 minutes in between sets, and she was like,
but other people go to the bathroom and get drinks during those 15 minutes.
So they don't miss anything. So I was like, fine, because as I've said, I don't really say no to Maggie. I think now in our relationship,
now you would be like, you can go get.
I'd be like, if you really feel that you need a drink in this exact moment, then sure. But I personally do not need a drink.
Yeah,
at this
now
exact moment.
you would not give in.
Not in this same situation. No. But I love you so much. And when you ask me to do something, typically my answer is yes. So we get to the tip top of the stairs, and he's like, I can't wait to get on the road again. And I turned, and I was like, I am missing on the road again. And then we get, I go to the bathroom, and come out, and I hear it's You're always on my mind. And it was this glorious sound, and I couldn't see it.
And so the light was shining in this window, and it was like a spotlight on the bathroom, and Sam walks out. Her eyes have never been more green, like daggers coming at me. I was like, oh shit. Like, I know she's about to attack me. She's so mad.
I was like on the verge of tears, because I was like,
she said, don't talk to me. I mean, that is what she said as she came out of her. Don't talk to me.
There are a few moments where I'm like, I still get emotional. And I get emotional
she was
about
gonna cry.
Not seeing. I knew we were going to cry. But when Willie, you're always on my mind. And I came out of the bathroom, and it was just like.
And I said, I'll buy you a drink.
And I was like, no drink gonna fix this. So then we both did not miss 2 seconds of Carrie Underwood breathing in the same room as us. How many times had you seen her?
Well, this was the 11th.
This was the 11th. And this was my second time. Like, we've both seen her. And I love, she puts on a good show. It's a great time. And then she's like, hey, I don't really care if we stay for George Strait. And I was like, so help me. We're going to watch some George Strait. The King. We're going to watch some good old George. He ain't going to do much, but we're going to watch him. He's going to stand there. And so I said, let me tell you something. There's about 5 songs that are non-negotiable after I negotiated Willie Nelson. And I need to hear those 5 songs, and then we can go. And
what did you think I was going to say?
I thought she was going to say, we have George Strait in the car.
Just like we had snacks in the car, we have George Strait in the car.
Yeah, we don't have serial killers in the car. We have, like, everything was like, we do have George Strait in the car. And I was like, I'm listening to these 5 George Strait songs.
They were the first 5 songs.
And so she was like, so can we go now? And I was like, I will be true to what I said, and we can go now.
Yeah, Sam's a saint, really. She's a saint. So we made it home. We are still
together.
Married. Like, I certainly.
We weren't married then.
We weren't married then.
We weren't engaged.
We were not engaged. We were not engaged then either. And so, yeah, we made it. We made it strong. So then it was that January. So that was October. Then January comes around.
I was like, what story is this?
We had driven to South Carolina because she had to sign for a car. Yeah. Like, it was this whole thing. And so we're on the way back, and it's starting.
But while we were there, I was like, we were only going to be there for a weekend. And so I was like, hey, I want to basically see as many friends as I can.
Made sense.
And so she was like, oh, well, how did these, like, do you all know each other? And I was like, oh, no, these 2 women have never met. Nicole and a different Sam. And she was like, you're bringing people together that have never met.
And now they're, like, really good friends.
Yeah. And I was like, yeah, but they're my friends, so, like, it'll be fine. And so we go.
Sam's the only person I know that can do that. Like, that is
and
not.
Yeah, it was fine. And so, actually, cool little thing that happened. We got brewery. We were like the only people there, and we were pretty sure we were going to be murdered. That was the time I thought we were going to be murdered.
Yeah, it was like this warehouse.
Yeah, but it ended up being really cool. And so we sit down, and I was like, "Oh, what do you guys want to drink?" And whoever had gotten there first was like, actually, I'm pregnant. And I was like, this is amazing. I love this. And I was like, okay, well,
and of course we take the pregnant woman to
yeah, we took a pregnant woman to brew. But there was pizza. There was a good vibe. And then my other friend got there, and I was like, oh, hey, what do you want to drink? She was like, well, actually, I'm pregnant. And I was like, this is so exciting. And so I like connected to pregnant people
at the brewery.
At the brewery in Charleston. And they had both of their first babies were like the same age, and they were due like a month apart.
Close, yeah.
So it was cool to like have all this experience. But she was like, they really didn't know each other, and I was like, no.
So we're coming back, and it's we had left like 80-degree weather,
yeah,
and
there
it's
were
January.
Dolphins.
Yeah, it's beautiful. And so we're on our way back, and we get like an hour outside of Memphis on the other side, and we stop at this gas station. And she comes out of the bathroom, and it's starting to snow. Like, the weather is getting really bad. It's cold.
It was fine.
And she comes out of the bathroom, and it was like this slide that she did. And she came out, she goes, hear me out. And I was washing my hands, and I said, no, I will not hear you out. She was like, what if we went to Jackson? And I turned, and I said, which one? And she said, well, I don't know.
She said, Mississippi or Tennessee? And I said, honestly, not sure, but we can Google it.
So she wanted to go to this drive-through zoo, which is, in fact, in Jackson, Tennessee. We have been.
Outside of Jackson, Tennessee.
So
the Tennessee Safari Park, if you will.
And it's a lot of fun. I have taken her since then, but we were not going on that trip. And I was like,
but the giraffe.
I said, babe, there is snow falling, and it's cold. Like, we're not going through a drive-through zoo. So that was one time she did not fight me. She said, okay.
Well, I couldn't. She was driving.
So we head on into Memphis. And by this point, there is a blizzard.
And we thought that we were going to, like, pop into Germantown to see your sister.
Samantha. Hey, Sam. Hope you're watching this.
All the Sams.
Yeah, so we were going to, like, stop and see her. Well, at that point, we were kind of back and forth. Like, we're going to just try to make it home. And
because I work at the hospital, and you can't call out if it snows, even if you're...
And you worked not the next day, but the next.
Yeah, it was like 2 days.
Yeah. So, like, we needed to get home, and, like, you needed to be with the kids and all that. And so,
all the things.
I needed to see my baby pugs. And so, then a wreck had happened on the interstate, and so we were just sitting still
under the overpass.
Yeah, behind this wreck, and like I'm calling my grandma was still alive at the time, and she was kind of like navigating the storm for us, letting us know like where impacts were on the road and all that. And so at that point,
your sister though,
and I called her and I was like, okay, actually we might need to stay with you, Sam. And so she's like, great. Let's meet up. We'll meet up in Midtown. We can have a drink.
There's this place that serves delicious Brussels sprouts.
Yeah. And we both were like, have you looked outside?
I said, is she in the same Memphis that we're in?
And at that point, she was like, and then it hit her, like she saw the weather, and she was like, oh, I see what you're saying. So we decided that, okay, we can't even backtrack.
Yeah, there wasn't any way to get out of that.
Because we were close to being able to get across the bridge. So, we literally slid into Marion. We slid into the Hampton Inn at Marion. Very grateful for that hotel. And we got a room for the night. We ate at this Mexican place.
We walked in the blizzard to the Mexican place.
We didn't have any food. Like
they had like a little freezer section of like frozen dinners, and Maggie was like, I am absolutely not eating those. And I was like, I am absolutely not ready for a blizzard. But I guess here we go, because I don't really say no to Maggie. So we went and had a marg and a rose maple blito.
So yeah, we made it. Just again, if you guys are dating and you are not sure if this is gonna,
is this the lesson?
Yeah, this is the lesson for this podcast. So
drive to Miami together.
Drive to Miami. Drive to South Carolina. Take on a bear. Like, do it all? You know. So.
Me and that bear, we're friends.
I think the big thing is that we have these stories, we have these memories, and a lot of them are so funny. We look back on and we crack up. We don't know if you're
probably none of you will think anything.
Yeah, you may not think it's funny, but we think they're hilarious.
Thanks for coming to our hour-long conversation of our Miami trip,
of ourselves. But we wanted you to get to know us and just kind of the silliness that we do have. You know, we talk a lot of serious things on the show, and so we wanted to be a little bit more lighthearted and you know, just show our funny sides, our good time moments, because we do have a lot of really good moments and a lot of funny times, and we love to share those as well. And we wanted you to be a part of our story and hear that and kind of feel that same joy that we have felt in those moments.
Yeah. So that's it.
2 queens, 1 conversation. We'll see you next time.
My God.
Mia, come here, hurry now.
Oh my fucking, oh, I've never ran so fast.
Holy fuck.
Oh my God.
And that's the donkey getting upset. That's a fucking
Oh,
bear.
you're a big one.
The look on your face.
Get a picture of it.
I'm FaceTiming Beth. Holy shit. I thought she was joking.
I did too.
You